Hello, hello. I'm a bit early today. Give a few minutes for people to join in here, but exciting episode here. Greg Crippen. Not a whole lot of people talking about him, man. There's a lot to like with Greg Crippen and his game overall. But give a few people to go ahead and join, and then we'll get it started here. People don't like center prospects, man. I don't know. If you go to his ranking, actually he's ranked pretty highly. 272 overall. What's the highest ranked offensive center overall? See, they just don't like centers that much. 189 overall as the top center in the country? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, Michigan's got two of them. Look at this guy's name. Ezra Dotson Oyatadi. Quite the name there. This guy looks funky. Look at that hair. We'll give a few minutes. Still got 2-ish minutes or so. Let people roll in here, but welcome to the stream. We'll learn all about Greg Crippen, the IMG Academy Center. It's the thing I've said before on videos, getting a guy who has actual center experience is a luxury. And Michigan got two of them. Two guys who have extensive experience at the center position. And despite the rankings having Raheem Anderson ahead of Greg Crippen was actually the #1 center on Michigan's board. It's not offensive linemen, excuse me, CFB addict. It's offensive centers. Because watch, you go to the top offensive tackles. Let's go top offensive tackles. Can't type. 2021 247. You watch, man. The top offensive tackles. These guys are ranked. Let's see how many tackles we get to. You go 1, 2, you go all the way up until 189. So you have to go through 20 tackles before you get to the first guy that is ranked lower than the top center. Isn't that crazy? They see 20 offensive linemen, offensive tackles, as better recruits overall than the top overall center. That's wild to me. All right, let's jump into it. People will still be joining in here, but let's get into Greg Crippen here. 4-star, 272 overall, #6 offensive center, 38 in Florida. It's all on the composite. 6'4", 285, a true center prospect. Second for Michigan. He's a guy who had plenty of offers. Michigan, Notre Dame, Bama, Auburn, Duke. He was actually committed to Notre Dame March 2019, committed for a year, backed out of that commitment, then joined the Wolverines in 2020. And Ed Warner, a guy who played a huge role in his recruitment. So if you missed the episode, I'll share the link in the chat right now. If you need that, go read up on everything Greg Crippen. Had a video there, about 7 minutes worth, going through his whole recruitment, scouting, all of that. But beyond that, let's dive into his film here. I came a little bit more prepared today. Let me pull out the drawing application here. Let's check if this is working appropriately. We'll use the blue for IMG. There we go. Then we can use pink color for the opposition. All right, let's pull open Premiere Pro. Pull this up. We got his junior year highlights. Oh, I need to make this smaller on this screen. That's just not going to work. That's just not going to work. All right, we got Greg Crippen. Junior year highlights, and then we also have his sophomore year highlights. I have all the episodes saved and watch later. Haven't watched them yet. Love the lives though. Oh, you're falling behind, CFB Addict. I'm producing them pretty quick though, so it's understandable. Not everyone has all the time in the world to watch these videos. All right, we got like 13 minutes. Let's dive into Greg Crippen highlights here. Good job there. Let's go back. It's so important to go forward and back to really get different aspects. You can see he lowers himself to a little bit of a level there, right there. He lowers his body there. Good punch there. You can see the arm extension right there initially. That's really good to see. Again, this is him getting to the second level. So as a center, he's going to be doing that a lot. So he kind of got disengaged at the end of that play, but good initial pop. I like his footwork there. This running back kind of, I guess he sees that linebacker, so nothing that Crippen can really do. But good footwork here. That first step. Get some depth to your left. Identify the guy. Boom. Gets good pop on him. Running back kind of runs into that block, but nothing for Crippen to do there. Here again, getting to the second level. Great job there. So that's a good job. Kind of going off of the hip there. Getting the arm and spatial awareness. He sees that number 26 here is committing inside here. So I'd like to see his hands a little bit more in the chest here, right? He's got one hand in the chest, one in the back there. But he does a good job. He comes with a good pop, a good initial pop here. You see he's really affecting guys, and that's because he's rolling through his hips pretty well. But would like to see the arms come through a little more. But good job staying engaged on that one. That's something that came up a bit in his scouting. He fails to stay engaged after a bit. You can see right there as well. Like, it's good on initially getting out there, right? So he's on a double team there on the nose guard, boom. And he's trying to get to the second level. Where's this ball eventually go? Yeah, it's going to the outside here. So it's hard to say. Yeah, so I guess if this is an RPO, I don't know if it actually is. It seems like this is kind of a messed up play in the backfield, right? You can see the running back kind of looking back at the quarterback like, oh, what was that? So either way, though, it seems like the head of Crippen should be on the outside here, right? If this is the path of the running back, it seems like Crippen should be blocking this way, in this direction. So I think his head placement might be a little bit off here, since it's on the inside here. Since it goes to the outside there, you know, he kind of lost his man a little bit. And then, oddly enough, we have a bunch of, like, practice film here. I mean, it is IMG, so that makes sense. But these are things I'm not going to, like, really go all out on details just because it's hard to say if the defense is playing 100%. You know, it's like, okay, I can learn a little bit here, but not a whole lot. Oh, I need to change. Sorry. I need to change my view. My bad, guys. Oh, let's back up. I was too busy looking at my face for that play. Okay, so this is pass blocking. Here, yeah, he does a good job staying engaged there. Hands were inside, so he's not likely to get hit with a hold there. Yeah, that was a good job there. Again, he rolls through his hips pretty well. He brings a really nice punch right there. It's a little high, that punch is, you know, like it's more to the face. Gotta be careful that you don't get hands to the face. But I like his ability to extend his arms like that. And he delivers like a well-timed punch with how he's rolling through his hips. So that ability will suit him extremely well when it comes to pass blocking. That good initial punch. That'll show up pretty well. So I do like that quite a bit. Is this music a little loud? Yeah, this music's a little loud. Give me a sec. Okay. So yeah, again, more practice clips. It's like, all right, how much can we really gather from this? I mean, it's IMG. Okay, so any practice clips out of IMG, you're probably going up against a Power 5 opponent. So I'm not completely dismissing it, but I like to see more game action overall. Here he's got to be careful. It's a good initial double team, right? Good initial pop. But look at where that hand is, right? This hand right here. Got to be careful. A ref who has eyes would call that a hold. There he is. Does a really good job staying engaged downfield on that one. Here again. Good job. And he does a great job with his hands here, getting in the chest of 56, right? 56 gets caught kind of in a swim move right here. So good initial punch, and then he's able to stay engaged. His hands are inside, right? So if you're looking for a hold call or anything here, that's where your hands need to be. Right there. He was teammates with JJ at IMG. Yes, he was. Obviously a year behind, or the same year. So yep, he's got plenty of experience. Or a year behind. What am I saying? Year behind. Wait. No, he's same year. Same year. What am I talking about? Yeah, same year. Got my years all mixed up. Yeah, same year as JJ McCarthy. Again, he seems like he has good footwork, a good base to him. I like how he stays pretty low out of the snap. And again, I think he has good initial punch. I think staying engaged, something that'll be important for him. Even more important when you get out to the second level. But I like his ability right off the bat to deliver a good punch. I think that's probably one of his best attributes is his hands. As is with all linemen, you just have to work to ensure your hands are inside and not get caught with holding. But that's something I'll always bring up. Oh, you got Andrew Osentoski in here. He's wearing blue, but somebody tells me he'll be wearing red this year. I don't even know what that means, man. Like the blood of opponents? What are you talking about? Nose tackle. That's a good ability here to come off of his first guy. Boom. And then deliver a blow to that. Kind of late. Jumps on him after number 33. Yeah, he's good on down blocks. He doesn't have like the quickest footwork. But he does a good job redirecting this guy here. He's going upfield way too hard. Picks up another guy on the edge as well. Yeah, that one's not much to learn from there. It's almost like his hand usage is a little bit better on getting to the second level than his down blocks. Okay, these are what? Just one-on-ones? I gave up a little ground there, but not too bad. Again, these are against really good guys, right? So, doing a good job with his footwork. Is he able to mirror guys? Oh, I'm dumb, Andrew. Yeah, well, I think they want to redshirt him, but he's already cracking the 2 deep. With Reese Atterbury out with illness, it's way more likely that Raheem Anderson would redshirt than it would be Greg Crippen. So I agree they'll probably try to redshirt him. That's a good job staying in front of that spin move there. Yeah. I mean, at 285, you definitely want a center to be closer to 300, 310 with his frame. I think that's absolutely where he should be. So, yeah, I fully expect it unless you have Reese Atterbury out for an extended period of time. You also have Vistardis. So even if he's like functionally in the 2 deep, he's probably in the 3 deep with Vistardis there as well. So yeah, I think he's a break glass in case of emergency, because that's another position where you really want an experienced guy. Oh, here he is operating space. Yeah, his coaches are huge. It's IMG, man. They just got a bunch of former NFL linemen there. Oh, that's a good job. So he does a really good job not giving up ground immediately after the snap, right? Like he's able to like stick his ground and then get going pretty quick. Like he's quick. He's quick in his movement right after contact. He's another guy that I think brings a pretty high floor. I like his hand usage. When he extends his hands, he gets a good pop. He's able to really, really drive guys. No, Andrew, you're right. I mean, he's only 285, right? And that's just, it's not really like functional. He should be close to 300, and that would be serviceable. I don't know what this nose guard is doing. What is 55 doing here? It's just terrible. But good job from Crippen to get on him and take him out of the play. I like his ability here to search for another guy. Right? So he's got a down block. The guy's they're on a stunt here. So actually maybe that's something that's kind of tough, right? Because you got a stunt from these two guys. Stunt here, stunt here. They're both going on down blocks this way. Maybe you could argue that he should recognize that, hey, this guy's going really hard this way. I need to be aware of this stunt and pick up that guy. Luckily, this guy kind of plays himself out of the play, right? If we move forward here, kind of plays himself there, but he shoots that gap. Because, yeah, you do have him engaged. You do have Crippen engaged here with a nose tackle, but because of that stunt, he kind of sneaks through. Luckily, he overruns the play. Good move from the running back. But I don't know. But it's a good job here to redirect, say, all right, that guy's completely out of the play. Let's turn around here, take out that linebacker. So, I mean, when the play kind of blows up like that, it's good that he's continuing to look for blocks after he's done with his initial assignment. Another screen pass. Oh, good job. Got just enough of this guy. Maybe overran it a little bit, right? You can see he ID'd that guy right away. He probably should have stopped running right now and kind of broke down a little bit more, right? But that guy does kind of have an effect on the play, so he could have done a little bit better job there. I think just breaking down, wait for that guy to really commit before trying to go for the full-on block. Good down block there to the left. He's great off the punch. Like right off the punch, he's really good. Whoa, what's up with the film there? Good down block, little double team, gets the pancake. Guy was not happy. Footwork's a little sloppy here. I don't know what 72, they're clearly not talking, right? 74 and 72 right there. Clearly miscommunication. You don't want those guys to be clobbering knees like that. It's not great. But great athletic play to get down the line there, right? I mean, it didn't end up saving the play, really, but good job there. Yeah, good extension of the arms here. The initial pop is there, and then he extends the arms, able to drive a little bit more with that. What do we got here? Kind of missed that one. It's not the best play. He kind of like blocks air at the start here. I don't know why this is even his highlights, right? Kind of misses that block there. And it's kind of a miscommunication, right? No one picks up the edgemost rusher here. What should be happening is this, because the guard's pulling, right? So you got the guard pulling. This tackle should at least chip this guy, but he should be getting a lot of depth here to pick up the outermost rusher here. And then Crippen's got to get on his high horse to get out and get this defensive tackle right here. Instead, he kind of ends up blocking nobody. This guy gets a free rush here, and that's it. Except, hold on. Oh, it's a run. It's a handoff. So I guess that's probably why they're leaving the edge rusher. I thought this was a pass rush. So never mind. But I don't know why this is in his highlights. He's not really doing, anything too important there, but He did fine. Only thing here, I'd like to see him keep his feet moving a little bit more, right? He kind of, like you can see here, he's kind of using his bend there a little bit. He does a good job mirroring a little bit there, but shuffling his feet a little bit more. Good movement. How do I think Sharon Moore will do at offensive line? He's had experience with tight ends. He actually, when he was getting started, he was told to start at tight ends because you'll understand a lot about offensive linemen and blocking and a lot of aspects of coaching that position. So I think he'll do fine. I think he's been coaching long enough. He'll know how to adjust. It's not like you're going from wide receiver to offensive line. Tight ends are essentially a sixth offensive lineman with some additional duties at times. So I think it'll be a good transition for him. That's a good job there. Yeah, again, I like him right off the snap. I think that's where he's best. He's able to set really well. Sinks his hips pretty well. And look at that bend, right? That's what you want to see. You want to see him get low. As soon as at the point of contact, extend your arms and then kind of explode up. Boom, right there. And that's good. This guy kind of, he has to work on staying engaged a little bit more because that guy kind of gets a little bit of a crease there, but he adjusts a little bit. Malachi, I'll answer that at the end. Remind me if I don't answer it. There, good quickness right off the snap here, right? Boom. He gets over there really, really quickly. So that shows pretty good athleticism. He had a sub-5 shuttle time. So that's what you want out of an offensive lineman. Also worth noting, he's at IMG. A lot of time you see Big Ten lineman prospects pulverizing. I assume his comp level is relatively high and he looks in control. That's a great point. Yeah, it's even Raheem Anderson, okay? And Raheem Anderson I covered in my last episode. He was at Cass Tech, a very respectable program in Michigan. They're not facing the same level of competition that you see out of IMG. You know, a powerhouse program in a single state will not see the same level of competition that a powerhouse program like IMG will see. They play a national schedule, so you're likely going up against Power 5 guys, if not at least Group of 5 guys, almost every single game. So I think because he's not pancaking guys in every single one here, he's removing them from the play, and that's way more likely to be the case here against this level of competition and at the next level. You know, is he doing the right thing? What's his footwork look like? What's his speed look like? And yeah, like you said, Andrew, he looks in control. I mean, obviously these are highlights, but it's not like these are reasonable highlights. These are things he's doing a lot of things that you could see him replicate quite often. Sophomore highlights here. So this is a year before. He was playing at left guard. So his junior and senior year, he played at center. So we're taking a little bit of a trip back here. This is when he was a little bit smaller as a guard. This I like to see just because he's operating more in space. Yeah, he has good footwork there. I like to see him pulling. I like to see him down blocking. There, good hands. His hands do tend to get a little bit high sometimes, like towards the face. He's got to be a little bit careful of that. But his down blocks are really good. Again, that initial punch, the arm extension really stands out to me. He doesn't give up a whole lot of ground. Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, that guy's a sit and duck, right? He tries to take on the block. But again, look at that, the arm extension, right? He kind of loads up. And he's like a spring. He just, boom, decompresses, and he maximizes the amount of force really well. I think he has the timing of his arm extension down. Really good technique. Here, another down block. Good job, gets movement. Kind of pushes the guy into the running back, but he moved him a few yards downfield. Yeah, I won't be going to, this is against Matter Day here. Yeah, good pull. Would like to see his head stay inside here. He's a little bit high as well when he takes on this block. right? Kind of runs into the guy instead of blocks the guy. You see that lean. He's not really breaking down there, or like he looks a little bit out of control. But again, this is him as a sophomore. But he was a little standing straight up there. But again, Michigan liked him as their number one center. So even though he seems capable as a guard, I think he has the athleticism. I like his ability in space pretty well if he wants to make that transition down the line. But he seems like he's going to be a true center at Michigan. That's the kind of guy Michigan, or those are the kind of offensive linemen Michigan wants too, right? Like think of Zach Zinter this year. He's likely to start at center, but he's kind of a guard at heart, and that's where his future is. So I could very well see Zinter be a center this year just because he's one of the best options at that position this year. And then either next year or the year after, get Crippen up to speed and make him a multi-year starter at that position. I think that could be the case. But, yeah, I mean, I like his film here. Again, he's undersized here at this point, right? He's a sophomore, so you think he's probably closer to 270 or so. Maybe he got up to 285 by sophomore. I don't really know, but he definitely looks skinnier here than he did his junior year. But yeah, good footwork, right? You look right off the snap. He's moving pretty quick, even compared to the rest of his teammates. He is like, he gets to his block pretty quickly there. Good job disengaging, trying to get to the second level there. Helps spring a big run. Yeah, good lateral agility here. Right, he's able to work around that tackle extremely well there. Then he identifies his guy right there. Boom, number 5, that's who I'm looking for. Good head placement. Right, look where the head placement is. There's nowhere for number 5 to go except upfield or to the inside. So that's a really good play. Yeah, that's another rare thing. It's a good point, Andrew, where most of these guys are forced to play tackle just because how many Power 5 offensive linemen do you have on your squad? So being able to have interior experience right away and then center experience, I mean, that's almost surely why you go to IMG. That's where his future is. He probably understood, hey, I'm not going to be a 6'6", 6'7" guy. My future's on the inside. Any other school with a brain will use me on the outside because I'll be their best lineman. But at IMG, you have, I mean, look at 77 and 73. I mean, these are guys going to Bama, right? These are just absolute hosses of men. So his ability to step in as a center in year 2 is way, way higher than most of these centers where it's like, yeah, they're going to be a center, but how many years have they actually played there? You know, identifying blitzes and navigating the entire offensive line for blitz pickups and different packages and things like that. Having multiple year experience to have the mental aspect of that game down by the time you get to college, that makes your likelihood to be ready in year 2 of college way more likely. And that's what he has. And not only that, but obviously he's playing essentially at like a Power 5 level at this point. He just got tackled here. You see that? The defensive line was just like, I'm just going to tackle this center. Cesar Ruiz was like a phenom, man. Cesar Ruiz came in at like 310, I think, already out of high school. So I'm not ready to call him that yet. But I like Crippen a lot. It is just shocking to me how low they rank these offensive centers, because he's doing this against, a ton of top talent. I mean, it takes a lot to be this dependable of a guy on the inside, and for him to not be a top 250 recruit is pretty crazy to me. And I said it at the start, there are 20 offensive tackles ranked higher than the number 1 center in the country. That's insane. 20 offensive tackles in the class of 2021 ranked higher than the number 1 center. That's backwards, man. They just don't rate centers fairly. They don't. I mean, I understand tackles are at a premium, and it's almost surely because pass rushes are at a premium. But you're telling me that there's Like, I don't know. That having a guy like this isn't as valuable as one of those 20 centers in the country. It's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, he a broken record here. I like him at the point of contact. I mean, this is his sophomore year. I think he looked considerably better with his technique, with his hands, his junior year. But man, these first couple steps, right? That's the thing that really pops off. 1, 2, boom, and he just extends really well. See, that's the thing, Andrew. It has to be because tackles get drafted higher and that teams just see a premium on tackles. So I think it's in response to that, right? And again, I think it's just because of how valuable pass rushers are. Obviously, more valuable you have in those true athletic beasts that are. And maybe it's like a true rarity thing, right? Where how many 6'6", 6'7" guys are there where there's a plethora of a lot of interior offensive linemen. So I think maybe it's harder for those guys to stand out than tackles. So it's harder to rank them and project them because, like you said, a lot of them are starting on the outside and they'll eventually move inside. So you're not as surefire that those guys will be studs at the next level. I don't know. But Cesar Ruiz was like the highest drafted center in like a long time, I think. And I think he was like a late first rounder, I think. Yeah, he's good. It's good. I like his ability at guard too, man. Again, look at that push. Wow, 75 just gave him the business right here. Crippen with the boom, and then 75 just clotheslines him and gives him another extra shove. That's hilarious. Yeah, I guess haven't seen enough of his pass protection to see it as like a negative. I think like better footwork and pass protection overall. Oh, I love this play. Thing I love about pulling guards is as soon as they do this, as soon as you engage with them, turn your hips, right? He knows where that play is going. That's so important. Just turn your hips. This is a winning play. Get your head to the outside. Boom, turn. Look how great of a hole that is because of both where that tackle is or that guard, front side guard right there. Front side guard has his head on the inside. So does the pulling guard and Crippen. Boom. Huge hole. Always love to see that. It just shows like a next level of intelligence, right? Just knowing where your head should be, knowing when to turn your hips. Did he lose this guy? Can't tell. Good initial block there. Yeah, that guy kind of spins off of him. He was a little tentative on that block, but he got the job done. Another thing is conditioning. Right? Think of how well conditioned you are if you're going up against Power 5 level talent every game. Right? Which IMG usually is. So your conditioning. How much less you'll have to build in that regard just because of who you're going up against game in, game out. There's so many advantages of an experienced guy like this. It just raises the floor so much. And again, you just become that much more dependable. We are seeing him go up against quality opponents on the interior over and over and over again. And you just don't see that for most guys that are going to be playing on the interior offensive line at a certain point. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. 189, that's the top ranked center. You have to get all the way to the 21st guy where an offensive tackle is ranked lower than the number one center. It's just crazy. Okay, I'm going to answer. Malachi had some questions. Do you think we are worse this year? I can't take another below 500 season. I doubt our recruits will too. People want to come to Michigan. People will. You'll lose some if it's another below 500 season. If it's a below 500 season, you're then talking about losing your head coach at that point. So, I mean, then it's Armageddon when it comes to recruiting, right? So I don't think it's going to be below 500. I think it'll be around that. I think 7 or 8 wins is what you're looking at. It's around the defense. How dependable will the defense be? And the likelihood is pretty low. Right? It's a new system. It's a new defense. How good can you reasonably expect a new defense to be? I don't think very dependable. O-line has to be better this year. I think it has to. I mean, you had a lot of injuries last year. I don't know what's going on with my green screen. You guys see that? What's going on here? That's gross. I think it got darker out, and it just kind of gave up on me. But yeah, I'd be shocked if the O-line wasn't better this year. You're returning almost everyone, and you had some health overall. I think Willie Allen leaving was a good sign, regardless of what people may say. It shows that he probably saw the room, was like, you know what, I'm probably not going to start. And I might not even be in the 2 deep. So I think that's actually a good sign for who's on the roster. That he didn't think he would see even, spot snaps. So overall, I think the O-line is going to be better. We'll see. I saw Josh Pate. I don't know that guy. Some others work for 24/7. Michigan's type of school could recruit around 25th nationally because of its education appeal alone. Yeah, no. And Andrew, 8 games. 8 games is going to be. It's more defensive line than secondary. I have really high hopes for G-Man Green. I think G-Man Green can be really, really good. I'm really surprised we haven't heard more of Andre Seldon. I think he could really be a guy. Vincent Gray has his limitations. Last year's cornerback performance, especially early in the season, was pretty anomalous. I truly think it was. And not having a safeties coach, I think, hurt the team more than a lot of people are giving credit for. So I think I'm more looking at the defensive linebackers. I should have mentioned linebackers first. Linebackers are a huge question mark. And then quarterback. I think the offensive line will be fine. I think it's just how safe can you keep Michigan's quarterback situation from injury, because both McNamara and Milton were banged up last year. Limited the offense quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, the offense just needs to score more. And last year, I know Don Brown wasn't great with the defense. Things kind of got off the rails, but that offense was putting Michigan in a hole all season. It was like all 7 or how many games? Like 5 of the 6 games, Michigan was down 7-0 at the start of every game. It just seemed like Michigan was always fighting from behind. You can't do that and expect to win. You just can't. The offense needs to finally, I think I said this at the beginning of last year. If not, I'm saying it now. Jim Harbaugh's future is tied to Josh Gaddis. If Josh Gaddis can't get the offense going this year, you're not going to have 8 wins, and you're not going to have Jim Harbaugh anymore, because the defense is not going to be good. It isn't. It's going to be maybe a top 40, I think, is your ceiling for that group. I think it could be between 30 and 40, I think, is where the defense will end up. You need to have a good offense to make up that difference. You just do. And there's too much variation otherwise if you don't have a top 20 offense to complement that. So yeah, the offense needs to drive this team, because first year for a lot of these defensive guys, you're in trouble. It's 100% been, I think it's for sure been Gaddis, Andrew. I think it has. I mean, you're dumb if you think that there isn't any influence from Harbaugh, but a lot of the issues last year that I covered with the offense overall was a lack of understanding and a lack of coaching of how to deal with the gray area in RPO situations. In an RPO, if a defender is in the gray area of a read or a pass, or a take or a pass, I should say, Michigan was doing the same thing every time, and defenses could just run that. They knew exactly what Michigan was going to do when that player was in that gray area. You need to mix it up. And I think they were limiting what the quarterback could do, and they called plays specifically for differently for the health of the quarterback, because both McNamara and Milton, they were scared of them getting hurt because they didn't have the bodies on the depth chart. So they called the game limited as a part of that. Okay, one more thing. Wide receiver room needs to step up too. Yeah, I like the wide receiver room. I think Cornelius Johnson had the talent last year to break out, just not the functional offense. A.J. Henning's a guy I expect to blow up. I mean, Rowan Wilson is a 4.3 guy, right, when it comes to his speed. You could even see freshman Andre Anthony been getting some talk this spring. Could see him getting some run. I think you got plenty of bodies, man. Even with Giles Jackson, Xavier Worthy out, I think you got a lot of bodies. Sainer still. I haven't even mentioned Ronnie Bell, who's extremely dependable. And I understand it feels like Harbaugh calling the plays, Andrew. I don't know, man. I think the way it feels most Harbaugh is they're limiting a lot of the playbook when people aren't healthy. I think it's a completely different playbook when they think Milton, because Milton had like a hand injury. Like he had a cast on his hand. I think they call the game completely differently when he was injured versus when he wasn't. Yeah, running back is the number one position I am not worried about at all. It's probably the best position on the roster. I wasn't worried about that group last year either. It's all about the deployment of the position groups. You look at Michigan's talent, they've had plenty of it. They've had plenty of talent. That's not the issue. It's been a lot of both execution. You think of just like a bunch of Eric All drops that was inexplicable given his recruiting profile that spoke nothing about his hands. So there's lots of execution issues that can go back to coaching. A lot of times it does, but there are a lot of issues with the play calling. Once they get behind, they kind of like abandon the game plan, and lots of defensive issues, especially in the secondary last year. I don't know. Yeah, they've done a great job getting offensive weapons in the program. There is no lack of talent at the offensive positions. Quarterback's the only one you could say maybe has lacked a bit, but I mean, now you have K. McNamara, you got J.J. McCarthy. If you can't make it work with this group on offense, then you're never going to make it work, right? So that's why it's do or die time. Yeah, safety's probably another good group. Dax Hill, yeah, should be number one. Not number one, excuse me. He should be number one overall pick. No, he should be a first rounder, second rounder max if he doesn't ball out. But man, I think our corners are going to surprise a lot of people. I think Jeeman Green will work his way into the draft. I think Jeeman Green has super high potential. And I think he can do it. All right, that's it. I got to go eat food. I haven't eaten yet. Thank you guys for hanging out. CFB Addict, welcome back. Andrew, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Malachi, thanks for the questions. I'll be back on Wednesday. Check 5 a.m. that video post, and I'll be back. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. And we'll be back on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Subscribe, like, all the good things. All right, guys. See ya.